The first thing I noticed about her armor was that it wasn't designed to intimidate. That alone should have worried me. I was knee-deep in the wreckage of my shuttle, tools spread across the scorched metal floor of the canyon, when the shadow fell over me, too smooth, too deliberate to belong to any predator I knew. I didn't reach for my weapon. There wasn't time. Besides, whatever stood behind me wasn't hiding. I advise you not to turn around quickly, a calm voice said, layered with a harmonic resonance that made my translator hesitate before resolving the words. Your species has a tendency to interpret defensive posture as hostility. Slowly, I stood and turned. She was tall, taller than any human I'd met, broad-shouldered and armored in overlapping plates of dull silver and deep blue. The design followed her form closely, but not in a way meant to display it. This was functional, ceremonial, and ancient all at once. Glowing glyphs pulsed faintly along the seams. An alien warrior, one of the Varkesh. Every spacer knew the name. A species that solved disputes through ritual combat and diplomacy through reputation. If the Varkesh were here, it meant the frontier wasn't as empty as the map suggested. I'm just repairing my ship, I said carefully. Didn't mean to trespass. Her helm tilted, studying me. This world is unclaimed, but it is watched. That didn't help my nerves. I'm Elias, I added. Human. Civilian. A pause. Then she reached up and disengaged her helmet with a soft hiss. The face beneath wasn't what I expected. Her skin was a muted slate color, eyes luminous and gold-ringed, features sharp but expressive. Scars traced her cheek in ceremonial patterns. I am Kareth, she said, warrior of the Ninth Spear. She glanced past me at the wreckage. Your vessel is injured. That's one way to put it. Silence settled between us, broken only by the wind across the canyon. Then she stepped closer. I didn't move. Her gaze dropped to my scattered tools, then back to my face. You repair your own craft? When I can, I said. No one else around. Her brow ridges lifted slightly. Curiosity, maybe. Among my people, such labor is reserved for technicians. Among mine, I replied, you learn fast or you don't survive. Something in her expression softened. That was when it happened. As she shifted her stance, one of the overlapping plates on her chest armor clicked, then slipped free of its locking groove. The plate sagged, still attached, but clearly disengaged from the rest of the suit. She froze. I noticed immediately and instinctively stepped forward, hand lifting in reflex. Stop, she said sharply. I froze too. Her eyes locked onto my hand. Be careful where you touch. The words weren't threatening. They were tense, controlled. I wasn't. I stopped myself. Your armor came loose. I am aware, she said. For a long moment, neither of us moved. Then she exhaled slowly and adjusted her stance to relieve the pressure on the damaged plate. This armor, she said, is not merely protection. It is bonded. Bonded how? Asked, keeping my hands very visibly to myself. To nerve pathways. To biofeedback. Incorrect contact can cause pain. Or insult. Insult. Her gaze flicked up. In my culture, armor interfaces are considered intimate. That explained the tension. Understood, I said quickly. I won't touch anything. She studied me, searching for deception. Finding none, she nodded. The clasp must be reset, she said. But I cannot reach it properly. I glanced at the plate, then at her. I can talk you through it. Or use tools. Her eyes narrowed. You would assist? Only if you want me to. That seemed to surprise her more than anything else so far. After a long pause, she turned slightly, angling the damaged plate away from me. Guide me? I did. Carefully, precisely, I explained the mechanism as I understood it, how the locking teeth needed alignment, how the glyphs dimmed when the bond disengaged. She followed every word, movements controlled, disciplined. When the plate clicked back into place, the glyphs flared softly, then stabilized. She relaxed visibly. "It is done," she said. "Glad I could help." She turned back to face me fully now, posture different, less rigid. "You showed restraint," she said. "That is not common among your species, according to our records." I shrugged. Respect goes a long way. Something shifted then, not just in her, but in the space between us. She stayed. As I worked on my ship over the next hours, Kareth remained nearby, sometimes watching, sometimes asking questions. About human engineering. About why we built redundancy into everything. About why I traveled alone. I asked her questions too. About the ninth spear. About Varkesh honor. About why a warrior of her rank was alone on a border world. "Observation," she said simply. "Your species expands rapidly. We watch those who do so quietly." "And what have you learned?" She considered that. That humans repair what is broken instead of abandoning it. I smiled. Sometimes. Night fell. Stars emerged, bright and unfamiliar. When my ship finally powered up, systems green across the board, I let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. "I owe you thanks," I said. "For not, destroying you," she offered. "That." Her lips curved in what might have been a smile. "You were never in danger." I believed her. As I prepared to leave, she stepped closer again, not invading my space, but choosing to stand near. "Elias," she said, "among my people, trust is not given lightly." I figured. "You handled my armor with care," she continued. "You treated a warrior's boundary as sacred." I nodded, unsure where this was going. "That matters." She reached up, disengaged a small emblem from her chestplate, a symbol etched with the same glyphs I'd seen glowing earlier, and held it out to me. "A mark of regard," she said. "If you carry it, you will be recognized." I accepted it carefully. "Thank you." As I boarded my ship, I looked back one last time. Kareth stood watching, armor gleaming under alien starlight, one hand resting briefly over the place where the plate had slipped earlier, not in discomfort, but in thought. I realized then that the moment her chest plate came loose hadn't been a vulnerability. It had been a test. And somehow, without meaning to, I'd passed. The stars blurred as my ship lifted into the void, but one thing stayed clear in my mind. In a galaxy full of warriors and weapons, sometimes the most important thing you could do was simply know where not to touch.